So I think the next thing to talk about is a game. It's another game. It's not World of Warcraft, but it is a game that I think a lot of World of Warcraft players have not been able to ignore, that we kind of can't ignore in a way.
What game might that be, Michael?
It may just be Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. Might just be that.
All right. Well, we're getting to this much earlier than I expected. Okay.
Yeah, so, all right. I'm going to kick it off with
ready.
my thoughts and impressions so far. I have properly played the game for like 4 or 5 hours. I mean, to put it this way, I'm like level 19. I have just left Gridania. That's where my character is. So I did like the little, the initial arc, starting off as an archer.
Yep.
So I have a few different thoughts. I guess the first thing I want to talk about is look and feel.
Yeah.
Immediately, Final Fantasy XIV does not feel great if you're used to World of Warcraft because you have acceleration on the character movement, right? So you hit the W key in WoW, your character goes psh, instantly. You do it in Final Fantasy, there's a little curve. There's like a ramp up to your speed. That, or at least it feels like that.
It's the animation, not speed.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
There's something about it. It just doesn't feel as snappy and reactive as WoW does to me.
It's the thing where you will figure that out very quickly if you go in and start like tapping A and D repeatedly, or if you go to a fight. I'm pretty sure there's literally zero acceleration.
Interesting.
Because I've never felt it.
So just the animation then?
Yeah, it's just the animation.
Okay, I know I'm sensitive to that. Hotkeys.
Yep.
Doesn't feel as tight as WoW.
It's not even close.
Yeah. So I think that's something. If they could fix that up,
okay, yeah,
it would be good.
So this is the thing, right? It's because of how the engine works. It's because of it all. I mean, you're completely correct, but it's everything is all of like the engine stuff running underneath is impeccable. Essentially, when you hit a button, it does register. It's just the animation, it going and cool down.
Yeah, that's it.
And all that stuff means that it can be really awkward, but it is a good experience when you get into fights, and like really tight fights don't feel sloppy.
Yeah.
But actually looking at it feels it. As
I've got more abilities and went through my rotation a few more times, it's feeling better to me now.
Yeah.
I guess the other thing is look. How does the game look? And that is an interesting one because they have one of the worst anti-aliasing problems I have seen. The only AA that's available is FFXIV, and that basically just looks like a Vaseline smear on top of the game. So it looks terrible with FFXIV, with that on. Yep. And without it, I mean, the aliasing is just kind of insane. I think that their shadows, I think it's the color temperature of their shadows, actually, that I don't like. It's like the shadows are almost uniformly quite gray, and they're in like... Yeah, I feel like there should be more of a color cast to their shadows. So there's been like a whole bunch of technical and compositional issues that I've had with the starting content of the game that they do take a little bit to get over. And I think it immediately looks worse than World of Warcraft does because WoW is so stylized. Yeah. And what that basically means is in FF, I think you basically need to go and get reshade or something like that to get a good AA implementation.
Yeah, I think it's the actual software is reshade. I think there's Stormshade and Gshade, which I think are pre-configured ones designed for FF by people. I've not tried them yet because I have a 4K monitor and only a 980 on my PC, so I would fall over. Yeah, I want to play at 4K, which means I have graphics settings low all the time. But
it's a tricky thing where I actually feel like I really like a lot of their compositions, like their levels. They feel really good to run around in. Yeah, but I think the quality that is there is, at least in the A Realm Reborn stuff that I've seen so far, which is basically just Gridania, it's kind of betrayed by technical engine problems that some of them do persist that I've seen from your gameplay of Shadowbringers content, and that is kind of unfortunate. Now, that said, once I actually got through all of those initial things where the game didn't feel as snappy as WoW, it didn't look as crisp and stylized as WoW, I actually started to get into things. Oddly enough, that's where it started to humongously pick up the pace and be interesting to me. So I'm trying to think of like what to do first. The 2.5 second GCD. Yep, don't mind. It didn't actually piss me off that much, and I have played on your higher level bard. So having the higher GCD, but after, whatever level your bard was.
Yeah, that was only 50 or something.
Yeah,
50,
so it's
50,
like your level,
something?
you're like level 50 or 60 bard. Yeah, the GCD doesn't feel mega great, but you're actually weaving instant cast things in between that.
Yeah.
And I think with the design of so many of the rotations, like I've been looking at the samurai one, because basically I'm only playing an archer / bard until 50, and then I think I want to go samurai with it. I feel like it should all work quite well. So on the gameplay front, I'm actually quite happy looking at the top end gameplay that I've seen. It also, like, just that they look like in-depth, interesting rotations.
I really wish we had time today to let you play like one of the Eden normal fights on my bard, because you would have loved it.
Yeah.
You also would have died instantly.
So I guess then to move into experience, what happens whenever the anti-aliasing and the shadows and, you know, it feeling a little bit clunky at times.
Yeah.
Once you're through that, you have music that thus far I love.
Yeah.
I love. Yeah. It definitely, at least the Gridania stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've loved the music. And like just the vibe, the ambience, I think has been really nice, really successful. It feels cozy, basically.
Gridania specifically is gorgeous.
Yeah, so I've actually liked my Gridania experience quite a bit. That's been quite good. Narrative then is funny because I'm playing through A Realm Reborn, which everybody says is by far the worst content that this game has.
Yeah,
and I think if this game started off at the quality level that Shadowbringer seems to be, we would have a very different conversation right now, and I think WoW would be in a lot more trouble, because I think this game likely has a large problem with attracting new players because they have to get through the content of A Realm Reborn, and you know, people might suggest a boost to somebody, but it feels a bit weird to buy a game and then boost through the content. That does feel bizarre.
See, I was always thinking, okay, maybe you could kind of do some like ARR boost Start Heavensward, and that might be good, but after playing Shadowbringers, I would say literally if you boost, you are ruining the game for yourself.
Yeah, 100%. so yeah, that's what I've heard. And what I found so far as I've played the game, you know, actually paying attention to the quest text, I could see the little, you know, I was doing these seemingly disparate things helping people out in the forests of Gridania, but they all came together actually really quite satisfyingly.
Yeah.
And they came together in a way where I actually learned more about the world, more about the lore and the world building. And I really liked how I learned more about the big picture of things by doing small scale things in the world that came together to be more than the sum of their parts. So that led to a situation with me where I actually didn't mind the whole talk to this NPC, run over there, talk to that NPC, run over there, because I was starting to get engaged and trying to work out like the little mystery that was going on. And there's another thing there where the amount of XP that you get for those talkie quests is not trivial.
Not even, no.
So you actually feel completely fine to do those talkie quests because the game rewards you appropriately, which makes sense because the narrative that is covered in those quests is important narrative. So you get a proper. Somebody said, most important question, are you a cat girl? Yes, I think I'm a sun cat girl. Maybe moon cat girl.
You're keeper
I
of
don't
the sun.
know.
Keeper of the sun, Mikote.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I mean, that's... I was thinking of going for like a dragon or something, but I could not make a character on Zodiark, so I had to go with an old, basically meme catgirl character that I created and did not touch at all. But you know what? I'm actually having fun thus far. Some other things then, I guess, that I've liked. The hunting log system that kind of promote... Basically, you go in... Well, there's like 5 levels of the hunting log. Each one has got... Basically, it's just kill 4 of this mob. We will give you a little bonus of XP. Do all of that to complete 1 level of the hunting log. You get a larger bonus chunk of XP. And all it basically means is when you're running through the genre, like, oh, that mob there, I need that for my hunting log. Kill it, done. And it's just like, that's something you could transplant into WoW and it would actually be quite cool and fun. No, I mean, it's not a big thing. It's just that it adds you, it's just like a little thing to be like, oh yeah, it's a nice little thing I can do as I level.
Also, that's an A Realm Reborn thing that like that goes away at 50. Like it doesn't go on past 50. It's purely for like 2.x or whatever. And then they change it with more specific. There are big monsters out in the world that spawn every couple of days. Go do this with a group of people.
That's cooler for
which
like
is very different.
Hitting end game though.
It's extremely different and it replaces it. But the point is, it's still there, so you can still do it. And it does. Honestly, I honestly think a lot of the 2.0 world, I actually learned the names of like very specific places just because I've done the hunting log on so many different like classes now. So I have every job at least 30, and then only one up at 80. But it's just I've done all of the early hunting log stuff, so I'm just going, oh, there we go. Like I know, like you say, words like. Well, I'm trying now that I can't think of any examples. Now that I've put myself on the spot, helpfully, but I'm just like, oh yeah, I have a rough idea where that is. I have a rough idea where it is. I can click the map, click the teleport, go there.
I guess actually that's another thing. Teleport. This is a game you just teleport over the. As long as you unlock the Aether or whatever shard in a zone, you click on it, you pay some gil, you teleport there. So handy. It doesn't destroy the world or the story or anything like that. It works in this game. It works in Guild Wars 2. So that's something worth thinking about. But there is a cheaper Chocobo taxi system you can use as well. So that was interesting. Fates. Fates. Fates are basically just like little zone events. And I mean, there were zone events while I was leveling up in A Realm Reborn content. That is above Shadowlands leveling content.
Yeah.
Like, why is that not there?
Yeah, it's just a case of it was put there in the start and it keeps going. And because you can play every job on a character, people will just go, oh yeah, I've got Rogue at like level 2. I might as well play a little bit. That's another thing too. That I can play different jobs on my same character. That's great, because like I'm doing this character, it is an archer, it will turn into a bard. I'm going to hit level 50, unlock samurai, probably go over to that. Great! That's really cool. As I really like that. So there's that. There's the fates, which I really liked.